Welcome back to Shoot Happens, where I break down photography concepts in plain English so beginner photographers can improve faster. Now, a lot of photographers, well, they struggle with blurry backgrounds. They see portraits online with beautiful creamy blur and wonder, why don't my photos look like that? Or maybe your photos keep coming out too dark even when you're using a fast shutter speed. Now, 9 out of 10 times, the answer is aperture. And if you've tried to understand aperture before and got confused because, well, the numbers, they go backwards, friend, you're not alone. And in this episode of Shoot Happens, I'm going to break down aperture in plain English, what it is, how it works, and when you should use it. So let's dive in. All right, so let's start with the basics. What is aperture? Well, aperture is basically the opening inside your lens that lets light through to your camera sensor. Think of it as, like your pupil of your eye. When you go into a dark room, your pupil, well, it gets bigger to let in more light. Now, on the other side of the fence, when you step outside in a nice, bright, sunny day, your pupil, what happens? Well, it shrinks down to let in less light. Well, your camera lens does the exact same thing. Now, inside your lens, there are thin metal blades that open and close. You control how wide or how narrow that opening is. And that, in turn, controls two important things. First, how much light hits your sensor. And second, how blurry your background becomes. Now, here's the part that confuses almost every beginner photographer. Aperture is measured in something called f-stops, and the numbers, well, are backwards. Yeah, okay, well, hear me out here. A small f-stop number like f1.8 or f2.8 means, well, a wide aperture. That opening inside your lens is big, which means a lot of light gets in. All right. A large f-stop like f11 or f16 means a small opening. Less light comes in. So f1.8 is wide open and f22 is tiny. The opposite of what your brain expects. Now, technically, f-stop is actually a fraction. So, for example, f2.8 means the aperture diameter is the focal length divided by 2.8. But honestly, you don't need to remember the math. Just remember the rule. Small number equals big hole. Big number equals small hole. Now, here's where, well, aperture, starts to really matter because aperture controls light. Let's say you're shooting indoors and a photo comes out a little too dark. Well, you can open up your aperture, drop the f-stop number to something like f2.8 or f1.8. Now, suddenly your lens is letting in a lot more light. And that might be the difference between a dark photo and a usable photo. In a perfectly exposed one, now on the flip side, well, if it's bright sunlight and your photo is blown out, well, you can close down the aperture to something like f8 or f11. Now, that's going to reduce the amount of light that is entering, again, into your lens. But here's something important. Aperture is not the only way to control light. You can also adjust, well, your ISO or your shutter speed, which leads us to our second effect of aperture. And honestly, this is the one most photographers care about. Depth of field. Now, that's a technical term for just how much of your photo is actually in focus. Now, a shallow depth of field means only a small slice of your photo is sharp. Now, your subject, well, is focused, but the background is beautifully blurred. That's what gives you those gorgeous portrait photos with the creamy out of focus background. Yes. On the other hand, a deep depth of field means most of your photo is sharp from front to back. That's what you want for landscape photography. You want the flowers in the foreground and the mountain in the background all to be sharp. So here's the rule. Wide aperture like f1.8 equals shallow depth of field, which means blurry background. Narrow aperture like a f16 equals deep depth of field, which means everything is sharp. All right, let me give you some quick example. Portraits, f1.8 to f2.8. wide open, blur the background, make the subject pop. Landscapes, f8 to f16. Close down, keeps everything sharp, front to back. Street photography, f5.6 to f8. Nice middle ground, enough depth to keep the subject sharp without losing too much light. Low light situations, open it up, f1.8 to f2.8. You need the extra light. Bright sunlight, close it down, f8 or f11. Otherwise, it's going to be too much light that is coming in. Now, one more thing, your lens also determines how wide you can actually go. A kit lens, well, might only open up to f3.5 or f5.6, which is why, well, you can't get those super creamy background blur. And that's also why so many photographers love fast lens, like a f1.8 or a 1.4. They let in a lot more light and create more blur. Now, before we wrap this up, let me share two common mistakes. Mistake number one, shooting portraits at f16. Now, your background is extremely sharp and you see every leaf, every fence post, every distraction. Instead, open up to like a f1.8 or f2.8. Blur that background. Mistake number two, shooting landscapes at f1.8. Now, your foreground might be sharp, but the background is soft. Instead, close it down to f8 or f11 so everything stays sharp from front to back. All right, let's do a quick recap. Aperture is the opening inside your lens. It controls the light and the depth of field. Small number like f1.8 means wide aperture, more light, blurry background. Large number like f16 means smaller opening, less light, and everything stays sharp. Portraits, shoot wide. Landscape, close it down. Low light, open it up. And remember, aperture is only one piece of the exposure triangle. You still have ISO and shutter speed. Now, I'm curious, when you're shooting portraits, what aperture do you normally use? Are you shooting wide open like f1.8, or do you prefer something like a f2.8 or even f4? Drop a comment down below. And friends, well, that's going to wrap up this Shoot Happens video right here. If this video finally helped you understand aperture, do me a favor, go down below and hit that like button, or better yet, subscribe so we get to see more of one another. And if you haven't watched my episodes on ISO or shutter speed yet, I'm going to link those down below in the description. Friends, that's going to wrap it up for me. As always, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.